IGN has come out with an article trying to debunk a story that's going around. What's strange about it is that it's not really a debunk. It's interesting. So basically, there was a story that came out. There was some data mined information that found some old monetization stuff for AC Shadows. We talked about it on the live channel. I said at the time, just like has been rumored and discussed kind of behind the scenes for like a year now, we've known that the Animus Hub, which is what's the Assassin's Creed Infinity platform is being called, that was going to feature all sorts of different things, such as the modern day storyline that will all be there. It won't be implemented into the game. So no more like running through a mission, do something cool, cut to Layla doing something stupid. None of that. It's all going to be in the Animus Hub now separate. But also, they're going to have systems in place to try and encourage you to keep coming back, to try and encourage you to keep playing the game, keep spending money on the game, blah, blah, blah. One of the ways they're doing that is with battle passes, as they're colloquially known, which are basically just a long series of tasks, whether it's leveled up through XP or by specific challenges. You get 5 assassinations while in the shadows, or you do 3 assassinations while using a smoke bomb or whatever it might be. However they choose to level it. It's a pass. As you reach certain levels, you unlock new cosmetics or crafting materials, stuff like that. That's been rumored for ages. That's been the expectation. Since the delay of Shadows, the understanding has been that Ubisoft completely revamped how the game is being monetized, and those paid battle passes have been shifted to free battle passes. So they will be included just kind of as a weekly update or a monthly update for the big one. And they will offer rewards to players, but you will not pay to get access to those rewards. That's been the understanding and the expectation coming out of these leaks. Where some of the miscommunication came from is in some of this data mine stuff, there was verbiage that suggested that these were paid, like paid battle passes. And part of the reason for that is because, of course, AC Shadows was supposed to be out like now, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it was originally announced for release on November 15th. That means it would have been out for over a week at this point today. As a result, there were a lot of things within the code of like the Ubisoft store backend and stuff that was for that original release that was overlooked when they were updating everything for the new February release date. And in some of that information was verbiage that suggested that some of these passes were going to be paid. But again, that was before the delay. That was before the lackluster launch of Star Wars Outlaws. That was before all of that stuff that made Ubisoft go, oh God, we got to do something different, okay? So this article from IGN basically says, no, Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't getting a battle pass. What? Were the leaks wrong? Not really. Ubisoft has clarified that AC Shadows isn't getting a battle pass amid rumors that the Animus Hub, the rebranded AC Infinity, set to house all future games in the franchise, will feature paid content. This is okay, well, I'll come back to it. The Animus Hub team posted on the AC subreddit to correct leaks claiming the hub would contain paid rewards for AC Shadows, leading many to believe a battle pass style system was being implemented. Quote, it has come to our attention that inaccurate rumors have been circulating online regarding the upcoming Animus Hub, codenamed Infinity. We wanted to take this occasion to clarify that all the rewards available in the Animus Hub will be entirely free. The post went on to clarify there will be no paid subscriptions or paid battle passes featured in the Animus Hub. Players will have access to regular content and missions at no extra cost. So IGN takes this and runs with the article saying that they're not doing any of that paid stuff. The operative word in this that I see is paid or paid battle passes. There will be no paid battle passes. It does not say there will not be battle passes, because there will be. They're going to call them something else. They won't be called battle passes. I believe they call them projects. I think that was the leaked name that they said. It was projects.
Oliver Montemayor is now a member.
Oliver, thank you, my friend. So every week you'll get like a project, which is a series of challenges to unlock some cosmetic or crafting materials, whatever. I think originally the projects would have been free, but the larger battle pass, again, it's the colloquial term. That's just what we call it. They will call it something else. They're not going to call it the AC Shadows Battle Pass. They're not going to do something like that. It's going to be a different thing. But that is effectively how it will function, is in that same way. And again, right now, that's the goal, but it seems pretty obvious that there was not that long ago a plan to monetize that. And thankfully, in the face of Shadows, or in the face of Outlaws rather, they have reevaluated, because I think that that would have gone over quite horribly. And I've been saying that at this point for like a year and a half since this first started leaking. And that's why for me, like me and Jor and those guys, like we talk about AC a lot, we talk about Ubisoft stuff a lot. This has all been rumored and leaked for ages. So none of this is particularly shocking. It's why like when I saw Yasuke as a playable character, I was like, yep, this leaked back in like 2021. It's like we've known this for a very long time. For a lot of other people, it was brand new. They hadn't heard anything about it. But for us, we were like, yeah, no, like we knew this. So it wasn't that shocking. But they go on. Ubisoft is also ditching its main paid content model for releasing Season Pass with 2 main paid expansion drops in the year after launch. The faux early access period that sees publishers charge players more to play on the actual release date instead of 3 days later has also been scrapped. Releasing myriad pieces of DLC for free will perhaps bring in some AC fans back on side in what's otherwise been a particularly rough pre-launch campaign for Ubisoft. And then they describe the frustration with inaccuracies in the game's depiction of Japan, where they issued an apology after to say the game is not intended to be a factual representation of history, but instead a compelling historical fiction. This is despite art director Thierry Dansereau telling IGN that Ubisoft looked to make Shadows as authentic as possible to match historical events just 2 months prior. This has been the whole thing, is like they started pitching Shadows as their attempt at the most historically accurate Assassin's Creed game ever. And then like real quick, they pivoted off of that once people started expressing frustration, to use their term, with Yasuke and some of the historical massaging that was going on with that. And so I just think it's been very confused, their approach to this. I think they thought they could just say, hey, it's the most historically accurate game ever, and people would just be like, okay, sounds good. But they were met with some frustration, let's say, to again use their term. But with this, I mean, they go on other controversies. It's kind of crazy how many there are with this game. Like all of this in the article is just discussions of things that have gone wrong with this launch. It's a little wild, but all of this to say, the more you read all this, all the rewards available in the Animus Hub will be entirely free. Cool. That's cool. It's rewards is how they phrase it. But this, again, I just hear this as a way of phrasing it where the rewards available in the Animus Hub will be entirely free. The rewards will be. It doesn't say there won't be a shop. It says the rewards for activities will be free. But that's still, like, I still see that including a shop. Which, whatever. Like, I don't think that's a end all be all. But again, it's very carefully worded. No paid subs or battle passes. Doesn't say there won't be free ones. Players will have access to regular content and missions at no cost. That I like. That's good. I like that. I think at one time, Jonathan, the French YouTuber who has sources within Ubisoft, he did a leak where he suggested that there was going to be a paid subscription. That's part of what these leaks alleged, because I think they saw the old version of it where those were rumored and where they were experimenting with it. I think there was at one time a plan, or at least an exploration, to do a paid subscription for like $5 or $10 a month. And their goal was to have content and missions related to that subscription included. So if you paid $5, you got new missions every month if you wanted to keep playing the game forever. And then after all this stuff, they decided to pivot away from that, cut the paid subscription, cut the paid battle passes, and make all those missions they probably were already making, just include them for free. I think that's what happened. I do not believe for a second that this was always the plan, because all of the leaks up until like a month and a half, 2 months ago, were saying that all this was going to be paid for. And after the delay, after we know there was a shift in how they approached the premium edition, early access, the pricing of the season pass, all of that stuff, after all those changes were made, it also comes out that no, the old leaks were wrong. I think a pivot was made, and I'm glad the pivot was made. This was a good pivot. Let me be very clear. Credit where credit is due. I am glad they decided to get rid of paid battle passes in a single player game. I'm glad they decided to pivot away from a paid subscription in a single player game. I think those are good choices that they've made. Is it enough to save the game or whatever? Time will tell, but I do think those are good moves to make, but they need to do more than just make the pivot, a few months before launch. This needs to be a company-wide shift. And at the same time they're doing this, they're launching an NFT game that I'm not kidding, has a $295 million mini for sale in their shop. It's being sold by a player, but still, like, it kind of makes you question whether they've actually had like this realization that they want to do what's pro-consumer, or if they're just doing this because they were worried about the blowback. And I think we all know the answer. The second that they get the chance to monetize it in that way, they'll no doubt try. And I think that's, again, why people are kind of fed up with all this, because they're like, you're not doing this because you get it. You're doing this because you got caught. And if you continue doing this for years and you have a very pro-consumer approach for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, okay, then you'll win back a lot of that goodwill and people will start to be more positive towards Ubisoft. But I think everybody knows that the second they could get away with a paid subscription for an Assassin's Creed game, they'll do it. And I think that's the problem. But anyway, this whole, to just wrap this up, the article is weird because it very confidently says it's not getting a battle pass. But the phrasing that they quote directly says they will not have a paid battle pass. They don't say no battle pass. They say paid battle pass. It's going to have battle passes. Like, at least that's what we call them. But they're going to call them projects or whatever the final name is. It's going to have systems designed to keep players engaged, grinding out content in the long term. Does that mean the game will be bad? No, not necessarily. But this title doesn't make any sense to me because this isn't what they confirmed. It's getting a paid battle pass. Then the title is correct in this article. Otherwise, this article is just, it seems to be factually wrong, or at the very least, it's making a claim it can't substantiate. They didn't say it will not be getting a battle pass. It said it will not be getting a paid battle pass. So, IGN, fix your shit. Destin, maybe send an email.